beginning. The leaves are beginning to fall, as you can see. This tree is usually the last to dump in the area. This one over here and this one over here are gonna fall soon too. This one's already started. And the crepe myrtle limbs over there, or crepe myrtle leaves over there, are starting to come off as well. That's why I'm using the blower to start with after blade edging and trimming instead of last. Kind of alter up your order a little bit to get the most efficiency out of the cut. Which in this time of year, you want to blow the leaves out of the street into the lawn before you mow over them. So here we go. Going to grab the little 21 and do a little finish cut around the edges. This little back strip on the side. And we got a yard to do back here, a backyard only. So we're gonna cut through there with the 21 and knock that out. And that's a wrap, at least on the first floor. The grandstand cut up those leaves real great. Hardly any leaves left. I don't know, I think the grandstand has a slightly better mulcher than the Vantage. I might have said that before, I don't know. Maybe it's the blades on it. Probably need to change the blades on the Vantage or see what I've got on that one just to compare. This one turned out really good too. Other one in the back is, we knocked out that one in the back earlier. Just one we got through the alley here. Ooh, look, some competition. Just kidding. Just kidding, I don't compete. Also got this one done over here. Beautiful. Hey, where's our new employee? Oh, wait. He is missing in action. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I gotta drive around and check one more up over here. Then we're gonna head to another one about a mile away from here. Let's see. Same area, so we're just gonna look at this on a few areas down here. People on the right over here are clowns. Used to work for them. Worked for them last season. Bunch of clowns. I don't like to talk shit about people, but sometimes it has to be said. This one here is looking alright. Well, there's some high weeds. Yeah, we'll follow up on that one next week. But anyway, yeah, sometimes people, you know, when you're working for somebody and they want to find somebody new, that's fine, that's great, you know. I send my reminder text out every early spring, late winter, you know, and tell people, hey, I'm going to be coming out, by the way, to get started on so-and-so date. You know, and most people say, okay, yeah, that's cool, go ahead and do it. Some people say, nah, don't do it, I'm going to find someone else, this and that. Well, those clown people didn't reply at all. They left it on red. You know, like an iPhone has red, they just left it on red. And, you know, think, okay, maybe they're gonna reach out when it's ready, blah, whatever. Well, you know, a few weeks later, the yard had already been cut, and they found someone else. And then, let me get this straight, that's perfectly fine to find someone else for your service, but these people didn't have the balls to at least tell me, hey, we're letting you go, we found someone else. They just ghosted me. That's weak. I don't tolerate that disloyal behavior. I ain't gonna work for them ever again if they ever come crawling back. Hey, help, we need our lawn. Nope. I don't tolerate disloyal behavior. I wouldn't treat a client that way. I wouldn't ghost a client. I would tell somebody if I'm gonna let them go, which I have had to do that this year. You know, and there's a couple people I'm gonna have to let go as well here coming up. But I ain't down with that. Came out pretty good. Cleaned up really well. Look at that rose bush. Nice and thin, nice and trimmed. Excellent. Put this little baby ladder back up and then we're gonna head on out. It's just about lunchtime. I'm getting hungry. Time to eat. All right, leaving my first job of the day. Oh, big old tree job over here just knocked out. We used the Stihl PP800. PP800 manual pole pruner on this. Oh man. My chiropractor was telling me yesterday, yeah, your neck's gonna be sore. I can definitely feel it. Oh man. There we go, look at that. Beautiful. B-E-A-beautiful. All right, I got a hedge trimming job I'm getting to now. Like I say, wintertime, fall time, stack up these jobs. Stack up these little jobs that you can do. Get you going. Get you going so that you got time to work. Oh man, yep, it's been a really good morning so far. That Stihl trimmer, man, that Stihl pole saw, man, it does a great job. I was able to get a good 25 feet in the air on that thing. I was not expecting that. It didn't quite make me love tree work necessarily, but it definitely made it a little bit easier. Tree work, believe it or not, tree jobs are not my favorite. They're actually one of my least favorite in this industry. I like mowing and I like, hedge trimming and whatnot, but I really don't like tree work, and I really don't like irrigation work. Somebody texted me to see what that is here. All right, the client was pleased. Excellent. It's one thing I love to see. A happy client. Because happy clients mean happy Jason. When clients are happy, Big Red's happy. I guess you could say. All right, I better shut this off before I get on the main road here. It's not good to drive and record. I get a lot of flack for that from people. Came out really nice. Very clean, trimmed holly shrub here. This one's not the really super sharp one. I call them the angry holly. So these I'm able to kind of walk behind there. If you notice me walking behind the shrub, they don't prickle you up too bad. Another thing you got to watch out for on these sometimes is these sprinkler heads. They sometimes stick up, or sometimes they'll be close to the top of the shrub line. A hedge trimmer will tear them up. Will tear them up good. So check this out. I know there's a lot of things I can preach on when it relates to my business, and even things that can relate to any business really. But one of them is dependability. You need people you can depend on in your business, whether that's vendors, or employees, or whatever that may be. But just going to tell a little story here of what's been going on, these last couple weeks. As you know, A couple weeks back, I busted out a window at one of my clients' houses. Not a big deal, but I ended up calling up some glass people, a glass guy that I've worked with several years ago, not recently, but within the last 10 years. As some of y'all know, I used to be a director of facilities here at a local college. So I have, a number of contacts from when I was a facilities manager at this school. So I called up one of them that we used, a glass guy that I knew, was fairly good when we because windows at the college were broken out from time to time. Fairly good guy. So called him out there. They, he sent his grandson out, who works in the family business, as it were, to come measure the window and everything. And so I had to communicate with him that basically, it's not my window, so anything that gets done has to be ran through the client, before anything gets done. I can't just unilaterally say, hey, here's the window, fix it, without first, going through them. It's not my property. So with that in mind, with the back and forth and everything, the client gave the approval, and so I gave the approval to the guy, said, hey, go ahead and order the glass, get it scheduled, get it done. So, didn't hear back for a few days, and, I called with an update, and, he's waiting on the glass. Well, a couple more days went by. Eventually it's about a week or so, week and a half, and I'm thinking, well, what's going on here? Well, I called him up, the glass guy up, and unfortunately for me, he had not ordered that glass yet. So, needless to say, it's put me in a bit of a situation where I can't depend on this person, to follow through on what they say. And it's really sad, it's really unfortunate that, I wasted this time getting this guy's, family member to come out and do this. And, I could have just spent my time, it would have been a better use of my time to just, get a different company, or just tell the client to hire a company and bill me, which that may end up happening anyways, is ultimately how this situation may be resolved. And if that's the case, then great. That's perfectly okay. At this point, the biggest thing for me is getting it done and getting it over with, so that, the client is satisfied and that the job is done. But this is a bigger issue, especially now. It's hard to depend on people. It's hard to find people you can depend on these days. And I've seen this, really coming even in the past couple of years, but even before that, when I was a maintenance manager, having to deal with, hard to find good help and good work, good people that wanted to show up and actually wanted to work. And it's a big problem. It's a big problem right now. It's in all honesty, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, reasons why I am a solo operator. And up until the events of last year, it never was a problem. I was solo, ride or die, never had to depend on nobody, until I had to. And this is one of the biggest struggles right now that's facing this industry and other industries too, but especially this industry, is finding people that, want to work and know how to do the job properly. And I know in some cases, it's a money thing, and some people don't want to pay for good work. And if that's the case, that's sad. That's unfortunate. You're not going to get good workers. You're not going to get good help if you don't pay them. That's common sense. But even I've seen it, even when you're offering, a high dollar amount per hour or a high dollar amount per day for labor, it's hard to find people that want to work. Oh man, I don't know what the future's going to hold for this, to be honest. But right now, I'm gonna stay solo and stay doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna be, making some changes. There's some changes coming, believe me. That's another video. That's a whole nother whole nother can of worms as it goes. But and it's not bad. It's not that it's bad changes. It's good. It's good changes. But there's going to be some changes coming up next season that are going to affect me moving forward. And they're going to be permanent things that are permanently happening. Things that can't be unchanged, as that were. And more on that later. But anyhow, that's what we're going to be. We're going to be making some changes for next season, and I'm going to be kind of maybe adding on some little services that I haven't done before. One, I've already started. I've already picked up. I picked up a couple of tree trimming jobs this past week that I've done, which in the past I would not take on trees like that, like larger trees. And there's still some I wouldn't take on, quite frankly, if it's a situation where the tree is right up near the client's house, and there's a lot of dangerous limbs and dead growth. I'm not going to risk damaging somebody's house unnecessarily. But there's some jobs we're going to be taking this fall that honestly, last year at this time, I would have said no. I will never do this kind of work. I swore off a lot of this type of work, that wasn't maintenance and shrubs and things like that. And some of it maybe was due to apprehension that I wouldn't be able to work. I wouldn't be able to perform at the level that the job demanded. Concern that I wouldn't be able to do the same work anymore without tearing my body up again. And I went through a lot of anxiety and a lot of struggle last year and into earlier this year, about whether or not my body would hold up, whether or not the surgery would hold up, and maybe that's kind of silly given what it was, but also, when it's one of your first times that you go through this, I think you're a little bit more apprehensive moving forward, and it's definitely made me more cognizant of my body, and it's made me more aware of how I'm working and how I'm doing things, and knowing, what not to do and what might be dangerous. And I guess you could say working smarter, not harder, is a common phrase people use, but that's definitely what I've been implementing, and it's paid off. It's working, and we're going to be doing more of stacking these little tree jobs and bed clean out jobs. And I'm going to a job right now where I'm about to go put in about 20 bags of mulch out here at this at one of my properties. I did the bed clean out for it last week, and trimmed the shrubs up last week. But due to where it's located, the location of it, I don't have any other properties within about 4 or 5 miles of there. So the time... Whoa, what are you doing, U-Haul? Hey. What a clown. I hate clown people. These people don't know how to drive, I swear. Anyway, this due to where it's located, I couldn't get quite back out there in the last week to get the mulch in. So going over here to Green Acres to pick up our mulch, and we're gonna go out here and have some fun, spread out some mulch, get a little dirty. Looks like they got their Christmas decorations up already. All right. Wow. Earlier and earlier every year, it seems like. I don't know. Thanksgiving's just around the corner next week. But already a lot of these places are doing Christmas stuff. So, anyway. Until next time. Another mulch job in the books. 20 bags of Jamasco Black. Just got it watered in what I could. That stupid pocket hose didn't want to work right. But I was able to get all the edges, at least. That's the most important thing. Watering the edge to make sure it stays put. I also reset a bunch of these stones that were coming up. They had kind of come up or sunk in the ground. They do that over time. Yeah, this came out really nice. Trimmed up all these shrubs and pulled the weeds and grass out of the beds about a week ago. So, yep, this thing is ready for winter. Wasn't sure about this bush here. Was not sure if it was going to make it, but it's looking a whole lot better now. Yeah. All in all, a nicely well done job.